Telephoto lenses, these big, white, intimidating lenses that look like they should only be used for shooting professional sports, F1 cars, football games, whatever the case. Well, today I'm going to be telling you why you need one for your travel, adventure, landscape photography, whatever kind of photography you take, and how these guys are game changers. Now, before we start talking about telephoto lenses, I did just want to say that you don't need to get a big white professional lens like this one. You can use any lens that has a long focal range. That is the most important part, and that is the biggest takeaway about this video. And a fun fact, did you guys know why the lenses are white? Why only the big long lenses are white? Well, it's actually to do with heat. As you're shooting out in harsh weather conditions in the sun, you don't want things to expand, and if things are in such tight tolerances in that lens and they start expanding, all of a sudden zooming, taking photos, the images that come out of it, whatever the case, are going to be looking weird. It's not going to function properly. So that's why they make the big long lenses white. It's yeah, just a fun little fact. So why should you look at picking yourself up a telephoto lens and shooting with one? Well, in my opinion, it's because of how many photographers there are today. Let me explain. Every photographer at one stage in their photography journey will go to a very popular spot and take a very generic photo, the same photo that everyone else takes. Now, just a heads up, I'm not exempt from this at all. To this day, I still take very generic photos, the same ones that so many other people take, and that's for good reason, but we'll get into that later. But nowadays, everyone is doing this, and there aren't just a few people doing this. There are thousands, if not tens of thousands of photographers trying to make it or trying to post photos online, and they all look exactly the same. You might have seen this from some of the most popular locations around the world. Now, the problem with this is it's hard to stand out because all the images look exactly the same. They've got the same framing, they were shot nearly with the same conditions, maybe the clouds were a little bit different. It's the same light, either sunrise or sunset, and all of a sudden, all these photographers just blend into one. But people are still taking these same photos that everyone else are, and it's for good reason, and it's because it works on social media. But you'll get to a stage in your photography journey where this no longer fulfills you, and you want to start standing out, creating your own style, and stop taking the exact same images 10,000 other people did before you got there. And if you don't find yourself wanting to take other photos, you will find yourself in a huge creator's block. And that's basically when you want to go out and take photos, but you're not inspired to. Nothing, your surroundings, the environment, the weather, whatever the case, doesn't inspire you to shoot at all. And this is the easiest way to get into a creator's block, is just shooting the same photos everyone else is and taking no inspiration or not shaking the brain bush enough to come up with some of your own ideas. Now, a good majority of these overshot locations, the generic shots, are all shot quite wide, between, I would say, 24 and 50 millimeters. So the best way, or one of the easiest ways to stand out, is to shoot tighter than that. Now, this isn't just going to be like, oh, let's zoom in a little bit further on that castle, or oh, let's zoom in a little bit further on that mountain. No, it's not like that at all. But what you will be able to do is, when you're using a telephoto lens, is start to pick and choose what is in your frame. And this is a super important aspect of photography, especially if you want to progress. But using telephoto lenses won't only allow you to do that, it will also allow you to add a whole bunch of compression into your shot, and it will make your photos definitely stand out, but also look way more professional. And it's also a great way to get out of creator's block and get out of that horrible rut that we all hate. So along with picking and choosing what's in your frame, getting more lens compression, and taking more professional looking images, it's also a little bit easier to find new perspectives. See, the thing is, when you're shooting wide shots, everything gets in your shot, absolutely everything, and you try your best to squeeze as much as possible into one frame. And the thing is, that can only take you so far in photography. You'll see yourself pushing yourself to climb a little bit higher, or go a little bit further, or take a few more steps back with a telephoto lens, because you can't get as much as you used to be able to in a tighter frame. But when you do find that framing, and when that perspective does hit, I can tell you right now, it is one of the best feelings. And talking about good feelings, there is no better feeling than going to a location where so many other people have shot, and you take a photo there that no one else, including yourself, has ever seen, and leaving with that, posting it on Instagram or wherever you might be posting, and having a whole bunch of people ask you where that is or how on earth you got that shot. And I can tell you right now, the easiest way, or the best way, or the most convenient way to do that is with a telephoto lens. And I can tell you right now, for the past 3 to 4 months, about 75% of the time, I've had nothing but the 100 to 400 mil glued to the front of my camera, and it has brought so much more joy, so much more creative spark into my photography, especially when shooting distant landscapes. See, one of the awesome things you can do with a telephoto lens is use lens compression. I know we mentioned it before, but the thing with lens compression is you all of a sudden get to push everything up nice and close into a frame. If you shoot something really wide, it spreads everything out, but when you zoom in, it really compresses it. So you can take distant landscapes, put a subject in there, and then bring that background way closer to your subject, making it look way bigger and more dramatic than it really is in real life. And doing things like that, finding new perspectives, and taking images at really popular photo locations that no one's ever seen before is honestly, for me, the absolute wonder of photography. I'm not perfect at all, and I will never stop taking generic photos. And what I mean by that is photos that are very similar to everyone else's. There's a reason they work. We've already gone over this. They perform really well on social media. But the thing is, it's also really nice once you've taken that shot to step back and really see things with your eyes and see, okay, how would I like to shoot this, and how can it be different from what everyone else has already shot? It only takes a few moments to take that one photo that everyone else has taken and then move on. Try and find something different. You already know you've got that one banger shot, and now it's your time to get to work and find something unique. So anyway, guys, that is gonna wrap up today's video. I hope you have enjoyed. It's a little bit different from what I usually post, and I know I've been a little bit inactive here on YouTube, but life has just gotten in the way a little bit too much recently, so I decided instead of half-assing some videos, I would wait until I have got some solid time on my hands to invest and really start creating for YouTube again. But it's awesome to be back. I don't intend on slipping up anytime soon, fingers crossed. So if you guys liked the video, let me know down below. If you're new around here, subscribe. And as always, guys, I will catch you in the next one. Peace.